recording, and in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hello Arlington, and welcome to our first February sports update. We have quite a few exciting events to cover, so I'll take us right in. On January 19th, the girls hockey team handily beat Winchester High School by a final score of 5-2. For the weekend game, the girls took on Stoneham at home and squeaked out a 1-0 win. Arlington's Taylor Broughton was the only player in the game to find the net, scoring early before Arlington went on the defense and did not allow another goal, nor did they score again. After a few games were postponed due to weather, they found themselves back at home for January 28th against Woburn. Arlington struck first but was quickly answered by Woburn, and they were tied 1-1 after the first period. Arlington stiffened from there, and they took the lead with a second period goal. They went on to score once more in the second and took a 3-1 lead into the third and final period. The score remained the same until the Spy Ponders delivered the final blow and held on to win by a score of 4-1. Their most recent game was also at home, and it was another thriller that came down to the wire. Arlington faced off against Arlington Catholic, and these crosstown matchups always make for a good game. The Spy Ponders were the ones who emerged victorious and came away with a 5-4 win, improving their record to 8-1-1. In addition to the girls' team, the boys' hockey team played at home on the 19th. However, their game was much more competitive. Facing off against Pope Francis Prep, the Spy Ponders struck first with a goal courtesy of Brendan Flynn late in the first period. But Pope Francis answered with a goal off of an incredible shot just seconds before the period concluded, and it was all knotted up at 1 goal apiece at the buzzer. At the end of the second period, it was still 1-1, so the stage was set for an exciting final period. It took 2/3 of the third period for anyone to score, but finally Pope Francis Prep took a 2-1 lead with just over 5 minutes left. Right after this goal, there was a huge momentum swing for Arlington. Things looked grim, but Arlington stayed determined and miraculously scored with just under 3 minutes left. Now it was anyone's game, tied at 2, but the Spy Ponders were the one who took advantage, scoring again just a minute of game time later. After everything they had been through, Arlington was not just going to hand the game to Pope Francis Prep, and they played gritty defense to secure a stunning 3-2 victory, their most exciting one of the year. In the second game of the week, the boys played Stoneham in a truly electric game. It started off with the first period with 2 goals in quick succession by Russell Hurst.
Yeah, the goalie just does not look happy with that.
Takes a play across to Hurst, tips that in front, and the puck goes in. Hurst.
He followed that by scoring again to complete the hat trick in the second period. Stoneham pulled the goalie and also scored, so they were not shut out in the first 2 periods, and going into the third, it was 3-1 Arlington. The third started off with 2 goals from the second line. Later in the final period, there was a line brawl, and because of this, Shane Brown got to go out and score Arlington's 6th and final goal, finishing off the 6-1 victory. They followed that astounding victory with another one, an 8-1 pounding of Melrose on the road, but lost their next matchup 2-3 against Marshfield at home. There's no cause for concern though, as their season record is sitting at 10-2-1. At home on January 21st, the boys basketball team had another fantastic finish. Playing against Stoneham, the Spy Ponders got out to a scorching hot start and led by as much as 14 points, but Stoneham fought back, and it was going to be another nail-biter. Late in the fourth, Arlington led by only 2 and had lost Caden Mills and Jaden Williams to fouls, but Stoneham was out of timeout, so they had to resort to fouling in order to keep Arlington from stalling. If Arlington could make the free throws, they would win, but if they couldn't, they risked blowing a big game. Simon Hess went to the line with the score 61-59 with 10 seconds left. Hess hit 2 huge free throws, and Arlington made it a 2-possession game. Stoneham quickly drove down the court and shot a 3, but it missed, and Owen Haglund grabbed the rebound, and after the foul, effectively ending the game, he made 2 free throws. It really came down to the wire, but the Spy Ponders had escaped with yet another win at home, and went onto the road, looking for their first road win. Their record after this big win was 5-5, all 5 wins coming at home, and all 5 losses coming on the road. However, they went on to slump and lost their next 3 games in a row, including a home loss in overtime on February 1st, their first of the year. Their record is now sitting at 5-8, but I have a feeling they'll be making a strong playoff push here in the final weeks of the season and overcome their road woes. The girls' basketball team won a critical game at Northeast Metropolitan by a score of 45-37 on Wednesday, but couldn't keep up the heat and lost at Stoneham on 45-25. Coming back home, they faced Melrose, and despite a hot start, fell there as well by a score of 50-30. Heading into Lexington, they went head-to-head against the team they opened their season against but they were clobbered by a final score of 70-26 at Lexington. Coming back home, they had a nice rebound game against a heavy favorite Winchester team, and at halftime it was a close one, Winchester up 24-14. Winchester began getting frantic, but Arlington couldn't keep the pressure on for long, and they wound up losing 53-27. The game was not without its bright spots, though, particularly freshman Alina McCulloch, who had many great shots, including a three-point buzzer beater at the end of the third quarter. Even though the Spy Ponders continue to fall just short and have a season record of 3-11, they are clearly making great progress and are making adjustments to better their season. One could describe the boys' swimming season as having gone swimmingly. Their season wrapped up on Thursday, January 27th, with a final record of 6-2. They look to make this season one to remember even more as they are competing at Reading Memorial for the Middlesex League Championship match. After falling into a rough stretch, the boys' wrestling team has bounced right back and have won their last 2 in a row. After scoring 12 points for 5 matches straight, they have scored 48 in both of the last 2. This time, the rhythm they have hit is one that is going to set them on the right path and is likely going to lead them to win even more matches down the road. Their current record is a commanding 7-5. That's all for this week's edition of the Sports Update. We will be back with more soon. I'm Xander Lee.